Okay, Bajay, now this is our first question from the comprehension people and animals. Clear? I told you mostly we have 3 questions from this comprehension. That is this first questions you have to write 12 points, so it's a 12 marks question. Then we are going to attempt the summary writing question, and after that it's 3 marks question, short question. Clear? Okay, so your question is identify and write down the information in the passage which describes people uses of animal in former times and the uses made up of animals today. Clear? So we have 2 sections in this question. First of all, we have to find out the points that is uses of animals in former time. Former time means in the past or previous time. And then we have the second part in which we have to write about the uses of animals in the present time. Clear, bache? Okay. Okay, so we are going to attempt the first part, that is uses of animals in former times, means in the past. So we have read the passage. There are so many ways in which people use the animals in the past. I have jotted down some of them. Acha bache, the first one would always be given to you people, so it's not going to be considered as the part of your answer, or you won't be marked for that. Except this point, you have to write 6 more points into this section. Clear? So the first is means of transport, that is being given, that animals were used as a means of transport. People used to travel from one places to another with the help of animals, for example horses and elephants. Clear? So this was the given point. Now our first point is harness or pack animals carried and pulled objects. Yes, animals who were having a sheer strength, physical strength, too much physical strength, so such animals were used to take loads of things, or to take different loads, clear, from one place to another, to take heavy objects from one place to another. Clear, bache? For example, if horses were being used, elephants were being used, a group of animals were used to take objects, heavy objects from one place to another. Is that clear? Okay. Our second point is, bache, clothing. People use the fur of hunted animals to cover themselves or keep themselves warm. Yes, this point we have also studied in the passage. People started hunting animal who were having a thick fur because this fur was quite warm, and when with the help of this fur humans started keeping themselves warm. They felt that yes, when we cover ourselves with this fur, so they get warm, and secondly they also use this fur to be covered. Clear? And slowly and gradually with this the idea of clothing came. People starting stitching clothing for themselves when the needle was invented from the bones of the animals. Clear? Acha. Now the third point is that animals were hunted for food. So definitely humans had to survive, so they had to hunt different animals for food. Clear? They used to hunt the animals to get the meat from that which they used to cook for themselves, and then they eat it. So आप कह सकते हो कि animals were hunted for food, or animals were a source of food for humans. अच्छा. Now the fourth point is animals were used to hunt other animals. You have read that animals were used to hunt other animals. For example, cat is used to kill the rats and all these things. Cat was also used to save food from the pest and all these things. Clear? And we have also read that how cheetah was being used to hunt and kill the other animals for humans. They were being trained, and later on they were used by the humans to hunt other animals for their food. Clear, girls? Now the fifth point is they were used in the warfare or battle. Clear? So I told you, or we read in the passage, how animals were used during the time of war or battle. First of all, the horses were being used uh, to take the soldiers, armed soldiers to the battlefield, and they were also used to take the wagons from one place to another. Wagons, maybe the wagons were having the commodity that were used during the war, clear, and then it was also used to take the soldiers, armed soldiers from one to the battlefield, clear. Acha. Now the sixth point is that animals were sacrificed or offered to gods and deities as a tribute. We have also read about it, that how animals were sacrificed to pay tribute in different religions. I told you, in different mythologies where there are the concepts of god and goddesses and all these things. So animals were sacrificed in order to pay thanks to their gods and goddesses. For example, if a child has a safe birth, so then in order to pay thanks to god and goddesses, the people used to sacrifice animals. Clear, bache? So this was about how the uses of animals in the former times, uses of animal in previous time, in the past. Now we are going to talk about the uses of animals in the present time or today. Okay, now you can see the first one is already being given, clear, that use for educational purposes. So I told you how animals are used in the present time for educational purposes, like kids are being taken to the zoo and they are being shown different kinds of animals which they would have not been able otherwise to see in normally, clear, because for that they had to pay a visit to a jungle or to their natural habitat where the animals are living in their natural environment. So this point is already been given. Now we are going to talk about the first point. Animals are used as a source of entertainment in circus and zoo. So this is the first use of animals in today, although some of the people have criticized that it's quite cruel, but still this is how it is used in the present time, clear. So as a source of entertainment, people enjoy watching the elephants or lion and other animals dancing and performing different tricks in front of them, clear, bache? Then we have trained horses are used to look for people who are lost or trapped in dangerous terrain. Now we have also read how the horses are used to find out people who are lost or trapped somewhere because of their strong sense of hearing, strong sense of smell. Horse is considered an animal who have a very strong senses, clear. So this is how animals are being used, clear, for finding the animals who are for finding the people who are lost or trapped somewhere, जहाँ कहीं भी फंसे हुए हैं, clear. Now animals are, third use is animals are used to forecast earthquakes. Now I told you that some of the animals have a very strong sixth sense, clear. Okay, when you have read that when the earthquake is about to happen, so some animals start behaving bizarrely, start behaving strangely, which is a sign or a signal that earthquake is about to happen. Then you are being given the example of one of the animal, how it started or ran away to cover itself or to be in a safe place before the earthquake. So some of the animals, because of their strong sixth sense, they are used to forecast, to tell about the earthquake in advance. Clear, girls? Now trained to sniff out drugs or explosive. Some animals which have a strong sense of smell, for example rabbits, rats and dogs, they are trained to find out the drugs or explosive, clear. Dogs and rabbits and rats, they have a strong sense of smell and they are trained in such a way that they can easily sniff out, means सूंघकर बता सकते हैं that where are the drugs and explosives. You must have seen in the movies how the dogs are being used to sniff out, सूंघते हैं different things to find out whether, God forbid, there are some explosives or drugs, something like that, clear. And when there is something over there, the dogs do start barking, clear. So which is showing that yes, there is something suspicious. Okay, now the fifth use is that these rabbits, rats are being used in scientific labs, because whenever a new medicine is produced, so instead of checking it directly on humans because it can be harmful or it can have so many side effects, so they are first tested on the rats and rabbits, and if the results are fine, so then later on they are prescribed to the human beings. Although some of the people have objected this one as well, that it's quite cruel testing the medicines first on animals, because animals are also living and it can be fatal for them as well. Clear? Okay, then we talk about how animals can help in the loneliness of a person. We talked about a cat, we read about the cat, how if a person is lonely, how a cat can provide a companionship to a person. And we also read about like there is a therapy that is being somehow invented by the psychologists, that if a person is a person having any psychological issue, if he or she swims with the dolphin, so he will have social, emotional and cognitive, means mental relaxation or mental, it will have a good effect on his social, emotional or mental functioning. Clear bache? I hope this question is clear. We have read the whole passage which was about the uses of animals in the past, in former times, and then and the later part was about the uses of animal in the present time. Clear? After that we attempted this question which is of 12 marks and each section is of 6 marks. I told you 1 point would always be given, so you are not going to count that for that you won't be marked. Except that point you have to write 6 points in one block and 6 points in other block, because it's of 12 marks question. Secondly बच्चे, do not repeat the point again and again. अगर एक ही बात आप 2 पॉइंट्स में कर रहे हो, 3 पॉइंट्स में कर रहे हो, it will be considered 1 point, and for 3 points you will be given 1 mark. So please be careful about that. Okay, thank you बच्चे.